Welcome back, everybody, to the Good, the Bad, and the Awesome for Datacron Set 33 Supremacy Directive. We're going to be looking at everything about this cron set from stats to level 9 abilities. Overall, I think it's got some pretty good level 3 abilities, good stats. So it's definitely one that's worth loading up on. It is a 5v5 set, but you only have you have 2 factions and only a couple of really plausible teams there. So I'd look at it as a generalistic set. So let's hop into stats. So the big story here on stats is that defense is back. When defense comes back, it has a very high gravitational pull. And yeah, it's awesome. By the way, I forgot that. It's a very high gravitational pull, as in it is the be-all end-all stat, the most important, mainly because of the values they give it to us in. And it's possible to get like around 400% if every single roll is defense. Because of that, it's pushed some things into different categories. I had health, protection, and crit damage as awesome in prior sets. I moved those down to good, because for this set, they are good, but defense is clearly the target, and then these 3 fall into the bad. I'll typically have tenacity and potency in the good category, and crit chance is almost always in the bad category, but I think potency, tenacity, and crit chance are the ones you roll off of. There's definitely use cases for potency, especially if you get a perfect potency roll, on a lower level, especially because these are level 7 and 8 abilities, and then you try to re-roll and you get like a tiny roll of health and protection, you might want to keep the potency, but generally you will probably need a specific purpose in mind to load up one on tenacity or potency. Most people just spam, like, what, for example, whales just spam defense on like every single one if they have it to say, or like if they need crit damage. The only real damage stat here is crit damage, which is a pretty good value. But yeah, those are the stats. For the alignment abilities on Dark Side, we have a couple worthwhile ones. The best one, I think, is the basic ability offensive buffs, as we usually refer to it. If they use a basic, crit chance up, crit damage up, and offense up for 2 turns, that does not have to be on their turn. If they assist, counterattack, and do their basic, they're going to get those buffs. So that's awesome. Probably the best one to go for. This, when a Dark Side ally is defeated, remaining allies get 50% offense and speed. This is good really for defense only, because if you're going on offense, you don't want to lose anyone unless it's a team that constantly revives, like Night Sisters or Darktrooper Moff Gideon, but those are less and less viable these days. And the bad ones, evading, offense up, starting with not many buffs, you get some health and protection. This one, honestly, it could lead to some extra banners for a team that doesn't have a lot of natural recovery, but most do have some to make that not that great. And then counter crit chance while taking a turn. I guess it could be okay in some circumstances, but I think the one to go for is definitely this awesome one. On the light side of things, the awesome one is 20% turn meter for every light side ally, or for the weakest ally gets 20% turn meter for every light side ally. 3v3, that's going to be 60%. 5v5, that's going to be 100%. So you gotta try and think of who's going to have the lowest health and protection. That's what weakest means in this context. Whenever you see it, it's lowest health and protection combined. And if you have a strategic character, they're just getting basically a bonus turn at the beginning, unless there's something preventing turn meter like Hux or JMK or something. But that's definitely the one to go for. The health and protection recovery, when you gain a buff, a light side is more buff heavy, so it can be good here when I put that as bad for a dark side usually. The evasion up, health steal up, health up, it's just okay. Alright, these 2 are pretty bad. It's like accuracy up, evasion down, and a 25% chance to dispel, which is like trivial. So a couple really good options in each, and then a couple of decent ones. First Order level 6. Realistically, we only really have one great First Order team in 3v3. Some people run a Supreme Lord Kylo team, and it's not really. It's going to be one team for most people. If you're lower leagues, I guess you could run like a First Order TIE Pilot team, but it's not really happening. I have a rant to go on about this one, but I'll cover that last. The ones in the good category, we have Retaliate, which is pretty decent, especially defensively, because you can kind of steal banners without even really trying much, but I wouldn't totally go for it. We have this speed up and offense up if you do a stun. That's okay, but if you're thinking of like a Supreme Lord Kylo team, he's going to be the one stunning, and he'd get speed up from that. But if you have the good level 3, he'd already be getting offense up all the time anyway. So that's not crazy compelling. This one I think is pretty bad because when first order allies are critically hit, they gain 10% crit damage. So there's no limit. So theoretically, it's like, sure, that could stack a whole lot. But getting crit is not a good thing. You don't usually want that. And then first order especially has a ton of ways to avoid that. Mainly if you have advantage, you don't get crit. And they always get advantage. So I think that's particularly bad. And then this one we already have in the most recent set that is just for all attackers. But this is great because it's going to be the whole first order team, like even characters that aren't an attacker. Mainly you care about Supreme Lord Kylo, but then also Darkseid Rey is decent with that. But this one is bugged like crazy, and I'm going to prove it in a second. It reads as decent, but right now it is unbelievable, and you would not know it. It's under the hood. They coded it wrong. At the start of the battle, first order allies gain 20% health steal, offense, and retribution for 1 turn. That's nothing crazy. It's decent. So good stats and retribution. Whenever a first order ally counterattacks, the ally gains 10% crit damage, stacking max 50. Right. Until the end of the encounter. This is the part that's bugged. And then whenever a first order ally stuns an enemy, first order allies recover 10% health and protection. Oh, decent. Okay, thanks. It sounds like marginal contributions that would make things a little bit better, but not tip the scales too much. However, and I only know this because I heard this I've experienced this bug, so I know it's real, and I heard about it on the Gambit podcast from Soulbase 15, that it's not just when an ally counterattacks, it's on their turn. So Supreme Lord Kylo just doing a move, he's getting extra crit damage, and it's not 10%. It's not 20%, it's not 50%, it's not 100%, it's not 500%, it's 1,000% extra crit damage. 1,000% extra crit damage. Modify stat crit damage by 1,000. I don't understand all this coding thing, but since I knew what I am looking for, the modifier of about 1,000%, it is modify crit damage by 1,000%. So anytime Supreme Lord Kylo does anything, he gets a crap load of crit damage, and I experienced it myself. So this is a recent match of mine against a big whale Baby Yoda who got this Kron a week ago. And I was facing a lone Supreme Lord Kylo Ren, and it seemed to be stacking its damage a lot faster than it should. So right here, counterattacks twice. That should have given him some crit damage. It didn't, because right now he does his hit here. 80-some thousand, double hit on Chewbacca. He can't crit these two. So that's a pretty normal amount. He did a basic. He didn't poke, he didn't siphon, he didn't swipe. He just has a stack of 10 stacks there. So the counterattack did not juice up his crit at all. But he's going to attack one more time. 513,000. So that is not normal. If you understand how Supreme Lord Kylo's stats work, or his siphon, he pokes and does his basic, it gets this number up, and then he has to do a swipe to increase his damage. His basic did 80,000 twice, the one poke did 500,000, that's plus 1,000 critical damage, and I got robbed in this one from all that. Yeah, so a little bit unorthodox, got my own GAC footage in a Datacron review video, but this one was exceptional and it was warranted. I hope they change it. And then also, this one's bugged too. So we'll start with the wordy one for resistance. When the resistance ally falls below 50% health for the first time, so it's basically when they're going to be getting crit or damage immunity under Rey, they gain protection over time 50% for 2 turns. Which is kind of like, okay, I guess, whatever, helpful. Whenever a resistance ally scores a critically hit, the ally gains 10% health steal until the end of the encounter. That sounds nice. 10% is a little bit. No, 1,000%. Again, whenever any resistance ally assists, that ally gains 15% turn meter. That part I don't think is bugged. Whenever a resistance ally defeats an enemy, resistance allies gain 10% crit damage, max 150 till the end of the encounter. Max 150? That seems reasonable. Just kidding. 1,000 again. 1,000% crit damage. This is the resistance one. How do you do that? How do you make it 1,000% instead of 10%? I guess it's like, I could see it as to get 10%, you'd be multiplying by 0.10. but then you get 1,000%, you're multiplying by 10. That's the only way I could kind of see it working, is if they like messed up 0.10 with 10 as a multiplier. But that is crazy. But at least it's a little bit hard to trigger that crit damage on resistance. You have to actually get a kill. Whereas first order, you just do an attack and plus 1,000% crit damage. However, the health steal is like immediate, any crits. So like Rey just does a whirlwind or does a basic. She gets 1,000% health steal. And she has no natural health steal. But then that would turn any attack she does into full health. So it's broken, it's busted. I can't believe it's like that, but it is. If this were to work as worded, I would think this is better for just a Zori team, and this irresistible stun on everybody, or from everybody, is better for like a Rey team, because you do a lot more specials, and you do a lot less assisting. So hopefully they fix it. I don't know, but I'm trying to call out that it's bugged like crazy. The bad one, if they fall below 50% health, they reduce their cooldowns by 1 and gain 10% turn meter. Just not impactful enough. Perma kills is decent, and then the crit avoidance, 100% crit chance and crit avoidance when they're critically hit is good. Borderline awesome. I just think these two are better. But please fix the bug. And now we move on to level 9 mechanics. You just got to keep in mind, for first order and resistance, there's only 2 actually really viable teams. And think about players that are getting full Relic 6 teams. So I'm not even thinking that much about small, early, mid-game accounts. They're not really messing with... You shouldn't really mess with or build up a first order team so you have multiple good teams, like without Supreme or like teams that you think of as decent without Supreme Kylo. It's really just one team. So Phasma, when she deals damage, removes 25% turn meter. That's not irresistible, and also it's Phasma. It doesn't make Phasma worthwhile. Even in TW, I guess. If you're like super early and you really are into like Phasma, Omicron, I still don't think there's any place for that. First order Executioner, we see this ability a lot. It's great when it's for a relevant character. First order Executioner is not. 10% crit damage, defense, penetration, offense, up to 200% till the end of the battle. Not going to make first order Executioner viable. Just such an old kit, single target. He has some ramping in the kit anyway, just with their health and whatnot, but no. And Kylo Ren, when a Kylo Ren attacks out of turn, they recover 20% health on detection, and all other allies with retribution assist. So you could maybe make a combination with that, because if you have the level 6, everyone's getting retribution. But I don't know. I could be wrong on this. You're giving up a good spot, though. Like, Kylo Ren is not that useful on his own. So I don't know, but prove me wrong. I'd be happy to be proven wrong on that. Then the 2 good ones. So we got Kylo Ren Unmasked and Darkside Rey. Let's read Darkside Rey's first. Whenever Rey inflicts fear, reduce the cooldowns of first order allies by 1. Whenever Rey uses Malevolent Lineage, the lightning move. If all enemies are shocked, deal bonus damage equal to 20% of their max health to all enemies. So I don't know if that's 20% of the combined max health. So that would be like almost like 100%, like 20% of you. That could be really amazing. I don't know how that damage works out. I'm not an expert in code. I don't know what to look for to confirm how that works, but that could be awesome. Really, really good. And it is. I mean, the whole thing's awesome anyway. And while Rey is untargetable, she gains 20% offense, and first order allies have 20% extra crit damage, which that's kind of like, okay, big whoop. It's a nice little thing, but you know, it depends how much damage this does, to whether you prefer this or Kylo Ren Unmasked. When Kylo Ren Unmasked takes damage while taunting, he gains 10% defense and max health, so it's gonna be really chunky. Until the end of the encounter, and first order allies gain 10% offense up to 100%. So I don't know if that's one's bug too or not, but even if it's not, that's great. You get a ton of defense, health, and offense for everyone else. So that's great. And then when Kylo attacks out of turn, which he has counter chance, so he does that naturally, he inflicts offense down, in addition to tenacity down. And then when he stuns an enemy, his middle special increases the enemy's cooldowns by 1, and first order allies gain offense up for 2 turns. I really like this one for 5v5. 3v. I would prefer this for sure in 3v3 because you usually want Hux as the third. They're both good. If you cannot get Kylo Ren Unmasked, don't feel bad about this, and we might see it play out like Maybe this one doesn't make the big difference, and maybe this one does. I think this, for a long, drawn-out battle, is better. This one, potentially better for a quick hit battle. But they're both really, really good. Next, we got resistance abilities. The bad ones are Holdo and Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca. So, Veteran Smuggler Chew, when an enemy is stunned, he takes a bonus turn. You don't really care if he takes a turn. He's not good. Holdo, when she gains force rate, she gets 20% turn meter and protection up. You don't care if she takes a turn, she's not good. Honestly, it kind of hurts her taking a turn, because sometimes her slowness and being stuck in damage media under Rey is the only value she provides. And then 20% protection. Okay, big whoop. So they're kind of, who cares? The awesome one. So Rey, short and sweet, both of them, but really good. Heir to the Jedi, which is her ultimate, deals 75% more damage for each other active ally. We had this way back. One of the very early sets. And it's crazy. I don't know if it's going to be as crazy now. I think we have, as a player base, more control over Rey. To where you're almost killing her a lot before her ult. And then sometimes when she gets her ult and lands it, it's not as crazy. So this is a 5v5 set, so just remember that. In 3v3, that's only 150% more damage. But in 5v5, that's 300% more damage. And if she has any kind of mastery ramp going for her already, it's just nuts. So you really need to control her. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be really good. You put a team that's hard to kill, Ufu Cal, General Kenobi, like Bear, like teams like that. It's going to be a lot. Because right now, the ult, it's kind of like, okay, it's defensive. I'm waiting for her to finish, get out of her stance, but I'm not really worried about getting hit by it. This way, it's going to be huge. And then Stick Rey. She deals 25% more damage per amplifier level on all allies. And we have Relic 10 now. I think the last time this came out, maybe we didn't have as much Relic 10, or Relic 10 was new. So this one, Maliko's team is great. It's I don't know, it's crazy. And then BB-8 is pretty good. I don't know if it's going to materially change a ton of stuff, but basically he turns all his droids into resistance. And that works a lot better with him, because when he attacks out a turn, he goes a random resistance ally to assist. And if you're running a full droids team, normally that would just be like R2-D2 or C-3PO. But that could actually work well. At the start of the battle, resistant allies gain secret intel for 2 turns. That's his little BB-8 buff. Whenever an ally gains secret intel, resistance allies, or droid allies too, gain 10% crit chance up to 100%. Crit damage up to 100% as well. So you're going to get to 100% pretty quickly. And then, first time a resistance ally falls below half health, BB-8 resets Illuminated Destiny. So I would interpret this as once per battle, not like each person, but who knows with how they coded it. But that's pretty good. Bailout. Whenever BB-8 uses a special ability, inflict buff immunity on a random enemy for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. So the question is, are you really going to do enough damage for this to matter? And I don't know. Maybe 3PO and Chewie there. You got a sortie lead. Maybe Lobot. I don't know. Lobot in there. I have yet to see. There could be a use case on offense. Mostly, I don't think of it as a defensive team. But that is it for this set. As far as reroll priorities, I would go with stats first, just because we have defense. Like, try to get a lot of stats and a lot of alignment abilities. And I put like faction and character as like the lower priorities, but that's just because there's only like 2 viable teams. So I think you really want to tailor and try to get the Rey one built up, and then 1 for Kylo, or 2 for Kylo. You could have Kylo Unmasked and a Darkseid Rey, depending on how they shake up. And maybe you want the BB-8 one, but it's not a long shopping list of level 9s you need. Instead, I think you need to load up on great stats, and then the good level 3 abilities to think about your broader roster. And yeah, we got the Focus Datacrons, and I'll tell you right now, they're all pretty good, but they're all only for like the brand new era stuff, which kind of sucks. And 2 of them are level 15, so the Colonel Ward and the Rotta ones are level 15, which means they cost a ton. They cost 29 million. This is the upgrade cost, so it's crazy. But the stats are crazy as well. 100% health, 140% defense, 80% offense, and crit damage. This is like Wampacron meets like crazy Boltcron. So the stats alone make this kind of a must-have for every Kyber 1 player out there. Just insane. The abilities, so it's like the whole team of New Republic from the era of New Republic. Grogu, whenever Grogu uses strapped in, I think that's the middle ability. The target New Republic ally also gains quick hit immunity for 2 turns and 30% turn meter. When Grogu uses tune up, New Republic allies gain 50% protection up and speed up for 2 turns. Whenever an enemy gains a stack of on the run, so that's the debuff that comes from Carson Tiva's league. Grogu gains an additional stack of force connection. Whenever an enemy with force influence, too many thrusts sounds. That's from his basic. Yeah, the enemy deals bonus true damage equal to 30% of the max health to themselves, which can't be evaded. So pretty strong. I think overall this team is a pretty durable team. That's built on like surviving and then ability type damage, not tons of natural damage. So I think overall this is going to be pretty compelling. Carson gains 30% offense up to 150 each time he counterattacks, which happens frequently on this team. And then Carson can't be defeated while other allies are active. Especially on offense, that's going to be amazing, as like the AI doesn't know that. So if they go for him, it's going to be like Jin Urso situation, except the whole rest of the team has to die. Whenever he uses Keeping the Peace, a New Republic tank ally assists, so that's going to be probably Zeb. The first time each enemy reaches 5 seconds of on the run, New Republic allies gain 50% turn meter until the end of the battle. Okay, so we're back to not knowing how to write things. That doesn't work. It's not a permanent turn meter is not a permanent state of things. You don't permanently have 50% turn meter, but whatever. I don't know what that means. Carson recovers 30% health and protection, gains 30% crit damage up to 180 till the end of the battle. So he's gonna start hitting really hard. Extra 150% offense. And 180% crit damage. On top of that, it's going to be kind of scary. R5D4, whenever they gain Retaliate, it gains defense up and potency for 2 turns. When our New Republic ally counterattacks an enemy, which happens all the time, inflict 2 stacks of damage over time. So they're going to be melting. Carson's going to be hitting hard, and they're going to be melting from Grogu's true damage thing and all the damage over time. Whenever an enemy with damage over time uses an ability, the ally in the leader's gains 3% offense and reduces the cooldown of Mad by 5. Even more offense for Carson. Carson is going to hit like a freaking truck. When Zeb is taunting, New Republic allies are immune to ability block, daze, and stun. Oh great, so it's hard to control them. Can't be instantly defeated and take 30% less damage. Whenever Zeb loses taunt, he gains taunt. It's kind of like a Houndstooth thing. It's just like lose taunt, gain taunt, or maybe it's something else. Yeah. If there's breach, Houndstooth gains taunt. Yeah, it's kind of like a perma taunt, soft perma taunt. When first time Zeb, Carson, R5, Ward, or Grogu falls below half health, they gain damage immunity for 2 turns, and New Republic allies gain 20%, 30% turn meter. And then whenever Ward inflicts a debuff on an enemy, she gains 30% potency and max health up to 150 until the end of the encounter. When New Republic allies damage an exposed enemy, they recover 30% protection, so great banners. Inflict ability block for 2 turns. Can't be resisted. Colonel Ward uses Most Wanted. Target ally gains a bonus turn. So all this looks really good. So we got a lot of kind of melting damage, % health damage, tons of damage for Carson Tiva. That's going to be crazy. And a lot of survivability and protectivity. I think it's going to take something really strong to beat this. Especially you can't kill Carson until everyone else is gone. So I'm going to be scared of this. I'm not sure exactly what beats this, but I think this fits into the awesome category. Next one is the Snowtrooper Commanders one. And this is one I value a little bit more as a free player because it's the cheap one. It's the level 9, so you don't have to spend as many mats or as many data cache to get it up and running. And the stats are crazy. 110% offense, 140% crit damage. So it's basically Wampacron as far as a generic Datacron goes. It doesn't have the 100% armor pen, but I think the extra 10% offense and 40% crit damage is very comparable to 100% extra armor pen. As the abilities, though, I don't think it's as compelling as the other two, but I would place its value kind of above for the general player to get. Because not a lot of players are going to get the best use out of these. Because you need like a 7-star Snowtrooper Commander, which is kind of just whale territory. The TIE Pilot ability, he's going to assist whenever an ally uses an ability on their turn. This is 5v5. So there's 2 5v5 seasons associated with this Cron. and only one 3v3. So you're going to have a bunch of people. TIE Fighter Pilot is going to do a lot more damage under Snowtrooper Commander. So that's a pretty good ability. And then Snowtrooper, whenever an ally takes a bonus turn, all allies recover 20% health and protection. Snowtrooper gains 20% offense. So I don't know how frequently that happens, but he's got some potential to stack up a lot. And then Snowtrooper, the level 9, or Snowtrooper Commander. At the start of Snowtrooper Commander's turn, he gains 15% defense for each active Imperial Remnant ally for 1 turn. First time each IR ally is defeated, Commander revives that ally with 30% health and protection. Whenever an IR ally inflicts ability buff on an enemy, they also inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. And then when Commander uses rifle butt, inflicts fracture until the end of his next turn, or he's defeated. So you got a fracture on top of it. My sense from this character is very durable, and they're going to do a lot of damage from their natural abilities, and with these stats, it's going to be crazy. However, this is a Kron every player should get just because of the stats too. So this also falls into the awesome category. And then the big daddy of the set for focused Datacrons is Rotta the Hutt. Of course, our legendary, our last era, who's already a monster on his own, but he's a solo threat, and this changes that. So the stats are awesome as well. Super tanky, 100% health, 155% defense, 140% potency, which is really nice on this team too, and then 100% crit damage. I would love extra offense in there, but it's scary enough. So this is fearsome. I am afraid of this. Let's jump right to the end. Rotta the Hutt's solo effects are active even when he has allies. So that's nice. He's got all these kind of boosts in his kit where he's just a solo monster already, but now he's going to have allies too. So that's just great. In addition to that, whenever he critically hits, he gets 10% crit chance. So he's going to be critting very frequently. When he uses Knock 'em Dead, that's his AoE that does like the Dispel. If an enemy is inflicted with off balance, Hutt Cartel allies recover health and protection. And when he defeats an enemy, he gains 10% offense. So there's the extra offense. That's the whole thing. That's the most important thing. They put it in the final level, so you have to level everything up to get to it. Everything else, some okay stuff, but But I'm like, I don't know. It's all about the Rotta thing. Whenever another ally recovers protection, Cad Bane gains Foresight. So we'll have Foresight frequently. Okay, great. When Greedo crits an enemy, he gains... This is the thing that First Order Executioner has this set, but like it'll matter more. He gains 10% crit damage, defense, and offense, so he can hit quite hard. He has no limit on his basic how many times it can hit, so it's pretty decent. If the ally in the leader slot's Hutt Cartel, Mod Enforcer assists, dealing more damage. At the start of their turn, inflict enemies with thermal and buff. Enemies with thermal detonators are inflicted with buff immunity for 1 turn. Always crits if able, and whenever an enemy is critically hits Mod Enforcer, they're inflicted with thermals. So we had this one before. I'm pretty sure it got. I think many, including myself, speculated it would be pretty good, but ultimately didn't get used that much with the Java team. So I don't know. And Gamguard, at the start of the encounter against my kind of scum, 100% potency and 50 speed, and gets 20% counter chance for each Hutt Cartel ally, so should have 100. When he stacks damage, inflicts damage over time, he gets riposte. When taunting, he takes 30% reduced damage from enemies with damage over time or thermals. And whenever he removes turn meter, reduce the cooldowns of his abilities by 1. So none of these things alone are crazy good. I think probably the best is Greedo and Mob Enforcer with the support of Rotta with all his solo abilities. It's going to be a pretty crazy team. So all of this I am very much afraid of. And anyone that has a Rotta team up and running, yeah, I have him at Relic 4 on my main account. So I don't know if that's going to be viable or not, but it's going to be a crazy, crazy set. So a lot of crazy things going on, from 1000% modifier. I'm not on that view of the page anymore. 1000% crit damage and Hellsteel modifiers to crazy Rotta Colonel Ward and Snowtrooper Commander focused Datacron. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.